All right, welcome to Jack Dodson'S Racing Insider News. I've got the great Brian White filling in for Scott Allen tonight. Scott's somewhere over in the Caribbean doing whatever he's doing. He's supposed to be, I think today he's supposed to be in San Juan today.
Okay.
So that's where he's. So anyway, so we go ahead and thank our sponsors that we've got here. And let's start off with GRIER and Associates. I want to thank Andre GRIER. Andre's been really big to help us out this year. He come across with some stuff for us and helped us out. So we're really excited to have him on. And of course, Langley Speedway. We can't do anything without Langley Speedway. And we really appreciate Chuck and Bill and everybody for, they made us part of this family here. Brian, I come in there and help Brian sometimes. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm still in there with him.
We put you to work. You're doing a great job.
Bondurant Brothers Distillery out of Chase City, Virginia. Robert Bondurant, they got a nice place down there. If you've ever head that way, go through. They have a tasting facility. And at one time, he was serving some food at one of the places too. So that may be. MAYHEM Management, Erin Goodman. I want to thank her for helping us out. MPM Precision Marketing, Tanya McAllister. She does a lot of things for press releases and helping new drivers and how to talk to the press and how to handle themselves in situations, and especially bad situations.
It's important.
Black Acid Apparel, Bill Petroff. Thanks, Bill, for everything you do for us. I got some shirts coming. He's going to send us some more shirts. We got the tumblers and everything. They gave Brian one tonight. So I think I really appreciate everything he's done for us. And Brian's going to show you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Very nice.
Pretty neat thing, and I really appreciate Bill. He made sure we got a bunch of those. Our show is presented by Gen X Motorsports, the driver development and race rentals. They help people with their cars. If you need help with setting up a car, getting a car ready for a race, doing whatever, call Gen X Motorsports. They'll be more than glad. I think he's got like 3 cars up at Dominion. I think he comes here with Chase Burrow when he's here. So that's pretty big. Slinger Speed Co. Company, or however they want to say that now. But I want to thank them. They gave us some shirts. See, Brian's got one too. And that's pretty cool. VA 811, Brian Morehouse. I want to thank Brian for everything he does for us. He has helped us out tremendously, and he also sponsors our Driver of the Month, which has nobody been but Connor Hall twice. So, Factory Canopies and Fluid Logic. They give us the chairs, they give us the covers, they gave us a tent. Got a great big tent I have not used yet, but we got one. So I want to thank Todd Davis and all those guys there. Our pizzas delivered, well, not delivered, I go pick them up now, but our pizzas are from Papa John's. GAC, Great American Company, that's Guillermo Amaya. He's got all kinds of stuff going all over the East Coast. I think he's doing some stuff in Texas now, so he's kind of expanded his business. And one of the last ones, I think I skipped over it. I don't know if I did or not. Pepsi. We have Pepsi on board with us too. Turn 2 Synthetics, Hunter WALTRIP, and WALTRIP Power Wash Solutions. That's Hunter WALTRIP. We want to appreciate him for coming on and helping us out and being a part of it. All right, let's do a little news before we get started with our first guest. All right, in the Cup Series this past weekend, they were at Michigan, and the Cup winner, Chris Buescher, second win in 2 weeks for him. RFK seems to be getting their act together. This
speed, that's for sure.
And I'm gonna tell you something. It wasn't handed to him. I mean, he legitimately won that race. In the Xfinity race, John Hunter Nemechek got the win. In the ARCA race, Jesse Love got his 6th win in the ARCA series this year. So he's well on his way to he's leading the championship points and probably will get the championship. SRX race at Berlin Speedway in Berlin, Michigan. Kyle Busch got the win. I don't know if you watched that. Do you watch that?
I have watched SRX
this
year. It's been fun.
This year they kind of did it a little different than what they've been doing, and I think it's created a lot of interest. Of course, it created a little controversy too.
Just
but
a little bit. Might have had a driver change because of it.
Yeah, well, like Dale Earnhardt Jr. said, if you piss Ken Schrader off, you got something wrong with you, so you need to go. So anyway, that's pretty cool. I was hoping I would go to Motor Mile and see that race, but that didn't work out for me. At Tri-County Speedway this past weekend, Brendan Queen went down to Tri-County, and him and the Pulliam group came up with another win down there. First time he's ever seen the racetrack, and he goes down and wins a race.
They were just trying to get a feel for the Cars Tour race a little bit later. How about pulling out a victory?
That's pretty cool.
Impressive. Not a surprise there, right?
No, not a surprise. Not with him. Nothing's a surprise with him anymore.
I agree.
At Sovo, the late model races, Landon Pimpleton got the first win. Peyton Sellers got back in the win column again. He was having a tough time there a little bit. He didn't do very well here for the Hampton Heat. And I think he had a couple bad races up at Dominion, so he got back in the win column at Sovo. In the limited late models, Kenny Forbes got the win. That is another Lee Pulliam driver. So Lee Pulliam's got he's got some horsepower there. At Hickory, pro late model race, George Phillips. The crate modifieds, Dale Ogburn. He was on our show last week. He goes out and wins his first race over at Hickory. So that's pretty cool. In the late model. Yeah, well, I try to tell people, in the late models, Landon Huffman got the win, and in the limited late models, Bryson Ruff. At Florence, Cody Kelly got the win in the late models. Down at New River, All-American Speedway, Rusty Daniels won both late model races. At Bowman Gray, the modified winner was Danny Bone, but that was that was another interesting place. Did you see those?
I did not. You have to fill me in on
Well, looked like Chris Fleming had a little bit of an issue with Burt Myers. And Burt Myers decided, Burt Myers, he goes out and gets a bucket of Speedy Dry.
I did see something on social media.
He went out and got a bucket of Speedy Dry.
I did see this, yeah.
And threw it right at Chris Fleming. Now they call Chris Fleming the showstopper, and he's funny as all know what. So he evidently didn't care. So he thought that was kind of funny that they could do that stuff at him. So anyway,
if you've not been to that, I know you have. If you haven't been to that racetrack, it is a carnival, a spectacle. My buddy Steve Tucker invited me over it's been several years back, and my eyes were just wide open.
If you're not, man, there's something going on everywhere.
It's a party.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable.
And a wrestling match every Saturday night here.
Somebody gets mad at somebody every week. At Dominion, Kayla Searles got the modified win. In the Virginia modifieds, Shannon Morano got the win. The Virginia racers, Reed Murphy got win number 1. Alex Brock got win number 2. Up at Lonesome Pine Speedway, Kevin Canner got his 14th win of the season in the Mod 4. Now that's 14 wins on 3 different tracks, but he has not finished lower than second in any race this year. Wow. So, in the late model, Colby Higgins won the race. It was his first ever late model race, and he won it. And his car owner won the second race, Chase Dixon. He got the win in the second race. Here at Langley Speedway, in the late models, I guess there's other drivers out there, but it seems like Connor Hall is the one winning them all.
Every points race.
What's he got? Is it 13 now?
He's got, you're putting on the spot, 12, I think. I have to go back and look at the stat book, but it's up there. Every late model points race we've had this season, he's won.
I think he's got the best streak ever here.
Oh, it's impressive. I mean, it's certainly incredible.
But the kid Zach Brunner that finished second in the second race, he was a little closer to him than I was expecting. But anyway, the Super Street, Sammy Gaeta got another win. I don't know how many that is for him, like 6, I think.
Why did I'm gonna pull the stats up?
I think Sammy is 5 or 6 straight for Sammy Gator. Now Sammy will be on the show next week. In the Enduro, Stephen Flynn got the win. In the Legends, Devin Courtney got his first win in the Legends. Bandos, Brian Runstrom Jr. U-Cars, Christian Keller. Pro 6, Travis Wall. And how about the Grand Stock race?
3 wide.
3 wide at the finish line.
That's the race I missed.
And that was unbelievable. I was sitting there, I was on the edge of my seat, and I can't believe it. But Bill Aker pulled it out and got the win. And on top of that, Bill Aker is this week's GAC Gen X Motorsports Driver of the Week. So he gets that.
Well deserved.
And in just a few minutes, we're going to have Chris come on. Chris DeBoard's going to come on and talk about everything going on at Southampton Speedway. And I put it down to remind everybody Southampton's got their grand opening coming up on the 19th and the 20th. I won't be here the 19th and the 20th. I'm going to Southampton. But I want to go see. Please, everybody go out and support these guys. I mean, I've been saying it every week, and I guess people are getting tired of hearing me say it. But please go out and support them because we want this to be a success. We want Southampton Speedway back and going good and have something for everybody to go out there and do. So let's go out and support them and get them going. And also I want to send out our condolences to the Marty Ward family. Marty passed out and died at Anderson Speedway this past weekend. So I know he's won a bunch of races. I can't remember how many he's won, but he's won a bunch. So everybody keep the Marty Ward family in your thoughts and prayers because that's a big loss. It's a big loss for the racetrack and everything there. So anyway, all right, we're gonna get Chris to come on in here, and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk Southampton Speedway.
Let's do it. Can I bring a friend?
Oh, yeah,
Come on over.
Shelley, you want to sit down and I'll stand?
I can stand.
You sure?
Yeah.
Ladies first. No, come on, come on.
Okay. I don't know what's happening.
You know one of us, but at least introduce another part of the gang, right?
Yeah. All right, well, go ahead and you do the introductions then.
Well, for those of you that do know me, hi. For those of you who don't, my name is Chris DeBoard. I'm one of the owner-operator partners at Southampton Motor Speedway, and this is Shelley Barnes.
Hi, I'm Shelley.
Not only is she one of our main social media coordinators that works a lot of stuff, so if you're messaging, you probably talk to Shelley.
Right.
She is the wife of one of the partners, Robert,
yeah.
and the realtor that finished the deal on our end to make this happen.
Yeah, I drove by it and I was like, let's get this.
So really, it wouldn't, again, integral part of this thing happening too.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure she gets all the credit she deserves for it. So
She deserves it because I'm really happy to see that we're going to get that place back going again. So.
It's really exciting. I'm very, very happy to have it.
So I rode by the other day. Nobody was there, but I rode by and looked like you got a lot of stuff ready to go.
I mean, the biggest thing is just keeping it clean, making sure nature doesn't take back a lot of the stuff. But we had our first shakedown unofficial event this last Saturday. All the volunteers who have drift cars, we invited them out, and day was on us. We paid for the insurance, had the EMTs out there, everything, and we were testing layouts as well as kind of giving ourselves a shakedown of like, all right, this is how the event flow is going to go. This is how check-ins are going to go, and just kind of just getting a lay of the land, because I mean, different than with Langley Speedway, the way things are set up. We've done events here, we've done events in other places across the country, but when it's your own place, you're a little bit more particular about things
Right.
going properly. So worked out a lot of the kinks, and we have over 20 volunteers for our grand opening at this
Yeah,
point.
so we have to have more than average because we expect a large crowd for ground opening. I mean,
Oh yeah.
we were going to have you out there with your new canopy.
Hey, I might do that. I really hadn't thought about that.
There you go. Give it a go.
I hadn't even thought about it. That's a good idea.
We'd love to have you out there, Jack.
Well, I'm going to be there.
Absolutely.
I got to do that because I've been telling everybody we got to get Southampton Speedway going. I mean, I love Langley Speedway. Langley's home.
Mhm.
I mean, I spend a lot of time. Well, not this year, not as much as I normally spend a lot of time here, but I'm excited that we're going to have Southampton back, and I want to be out there and be a part of that because I think it's going to be great for the area.
We're really hoping for a really great turnout. I mean, you see a lot of the social media people. People are really wanting stock car racing to come back, and we told you we want it too.
Right.
Insurance is our biggest hurdle. They are allowing the SCCA to do autocross there, so that's a nice building block to be able to get there. And they see that as long as that goes well, it could be a long-standing thing to be able to work in our schedule to include the drifting. But there's nothing to say that stock car racing can't be there in 2 years or less.
Well, that's what I've been telling everybody. So I know that's your grand, that's a plan for down the road. But you got to get things going first and get to see how things work and get the lay of the land before you can jump to a stock car race that fast.
Absolutely.
Right. It requires a lot more staff than a drift event, and officials and people to watch from the tower that know what they're looking at.
So you got the SCCA coming this weekend, right? So
Correct. Yeah,
the
Dominion SCCA is going to be doing a closed event this Saturday. So unfortunately, it's not open to the public, but they have their drivers and their crew stuff taken care of. But the following weekend, obviously, their grand opening, 19th, 20th. 2 weekends after that, we're doing another event. So we have an event every other weekend for 2.5 months almost until the end of October. So we're trying to be able to create consistency with the track, but also growing. Talking with Brian Amory here, who runs the Wacky Wednesdays, trying to be able to get like maybe a Freaky Friday thing going to maybe be able to push when we have our Saturday, Sunday events. Okay, Friday night, come out, do the spectator drags, something a little bit more low key, a little bit more spectator friendly. But then it's really just about drawing people between Franklin, Emporia, all of Southampton County, Suffolk County, and then Sussex Courthouse, that whole area. People just want something to do there.
Down to North Carolina.
Well, I mean, it's been so long since we've had that place. It's been years now. And yeah, we want something out there. We want to see something become part of this, become part of that area, because it gives people. I was thinking about the other day when I was reading your thing. Thinking about the first time they opened. I was there when they opened Southampton Speedway.
Oh, 97?
Way
91
back.
when it was dirt.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was a couple of years ago.
I was there in 91. As a matter of fact, I ran the first practice event. They opened it up for practice, and I ran the first practice out there on the track.
Back in the dirt.
Yeah. Well, basically that's what we did. Basically, that's exactly what we did. We packed the dirt.
Somebody had to do
it. Right. So, I was there for that, and how big it grew real fast. So I think you've got the potential to get that same type of thing going. I have hit every former driver I can find. I've hit them up and said, look, we got to go out there and support it. Do something. I mean, go out there, and if nothing else, go out there and make sure you watch it. Just see what's going on.
Absolutely.
And then maybe somewhere down the line, things may be where you could be a part of something going on there. I've hit everybody. So hopefully we're going to get a lot of those people out there too.
We want the spectators there because it's for the community. I mean, yes, it's a great place for us to drive and do stuff safe off the streets in a closed environment, but trying to be able to bring out the local community. That's why we encourage vendors. We've got how many now? At least 15, if not 20 vendors.
We're every day.
Yeah.
There's more and more that are signing up.
Multiple food trucks.
And things for the kids to do. The bounce house and yard games, and because drifting is really fun and it's interesting to watch. But
It's
like
something
little kids
are not gonna.
I think even they get tired. We got a playground at Langley for that reason.
Right.
So even circle track, they're gonna get bored or restless.
True.
It's an experience. You want to give them something to do while they're there, so mom and dad can enjoy the event as well.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Being able to have enough space too, if you did want to bring your own chairs and pop up, we have spots for that too for spectators. Free parking, obviously, without an issue. And then spectator passes for just $5 extra. You can upgrade to be able to get the pit pass 18 years and older. So kids 12 and under in the facility are free. And then the nice thing with the pit pass is after you sign the waiver, bring your own helmet. You can jump in with an approved driver to go on track at speed as a passenger.
You done told me you were gonna get me in one.
If you get yourself a helmet, I got a seat right for you.
I know where my old helmet was.
So, but again, that kind of goes back trying to be able to show that, especially your old drivers, it's like I don't know any Legends car or modified or late crate that has a passenger seat. So
Right.
so be able to, that's not happening. So to be able to be on track with the driver who's qualified,
Right.
that's an experience in itself.
Right, yeah, I mean, and their helmets will work for our safety requirements. Then you could come and ride with Chris or Rob or the other Chris or even me. I mean, it's a lot of fun being a passenger in a drift car.
That sounds
It
like
gets
it.
you
Wow.
hooked.
Yeah.
Well, they had the event here not just 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
Battle on the Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to compete in that was a lot of fun, but it was nice to see how an established facility could throw a very successful drift event, and the community would come out to watch it. I mean, I heard the mayor was supposed to be here. I mean, multiple people from the community government, just to be able to, again, not just see what drifting does, but see how the community wants to see more stuff like that. And the pits were stacked just as well.
So have you sat down and discussed with the county, getting some of their people out here for this event?
So the good news is we're actually going to be at the Franklin Southampton County Fair this weekend, Friday and Saturday. We're going to have my car out there. We're setting up a booth. So we're trying to be able to work with community organizations to have their vending at our event. We're working with Sheriff of Southampton County to try to get out there. But just, again, showing, hey, look at what it is. You know, we thank goodness of all the help they had for us permitting. I mean, they really showed us a couple of things that put us in the position of where we're at now.
They were very accommodating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The FSEDI with Carl, I mean, he just, everything he helped us do, Brian and Beth in planning. So, I mean, a couple of the people you even pushed us their way after our last time on here. It just, again, the community wants us. We want to be here, but we want to make sure we integrate them as much as possible.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to have to be to get you going. That's the way it's going to be to get them people involved.
We're super lucky that the locality is supportive of having a racetrack. That's such a big deal right now in the car culture, in the racing culture, is so many localities providing tracks.
Well, that's because and you got, as a matter of fact, I read this week that Motor Mile, well, not the old Motor Mile, I think it's called something else now. Everything runs out on them at the end of the year, and they may not come back. So that's another racetrack that is going to be shut down. And it's good to see that we're going to have one that's going to come back. And eventually, maybe we're going to have the other stuff, the race cars out there, the stock cars or whatever you want to call it. But maybe that's coming. But
you see stuff like ATCO and Emerald Coast, and it's really sad that IAA and Copart has taken over that stuff. But then the success of North Wilkesboro and I believe there's a track and dragway in Houston that got funding from a racing organization.
Yes.
We're privately funded. We have no national organization backing us as far as kind of financing or trying to funnel a series in. So it's 3 dudes, a young lady, and a community just trying to make this thing work. And we did this. We bought it April 12th. Our grand opening is August 19th. That's 4 months with just pennies in our pocket, volunteer help, and just hopes and dreams.
I told people when I was questioned about it, and I've been questioned several times about it. I told people then, I said, look, these guys are not asking you for anything right now. They want to come out here and get this going, and they're doing it out of it's their dime that's doing this, not the county. The county's not involved in that situation. Nobody's involved with them. And I think that was what a lot of people were excited to hear because, well, we know the history. We know the history that happened before. But, that left a bad taste in a lot of people's minds.
It's a true family operation. I mean, like the drift community is really like a family more than a lot of other communities. I mean, like I know racing in general is a family. And then you have the 3 guys that got put together to buy it. And, Chris Plummer, his kids come to the track. My kids come to the track. So me and Rob's kids. And
my parents are going to be part of the volunteer. They'll be doing ticketing and stuff like that.
It's truly a family situation at Southampton Motor Speedway because it's funded by us. We're not asking. We don't have corporate backing. We don't have NASCAR coming in saying, "Hey,
that's right.
We're going to give you this $100,000 to modify your facility, but you have to have a weekly race series."
Or noise regulations,
right.
or something that changes what our goal is just to be able to get a check.
So you brought up a point I was going to ask about there, noise violation. At one point at Southampton Speedway, now I don't know what it is right now, but at one point at Southampton, I'll never forget it. There was there was a problem with that.
Mhm.
We were told if that race goes beyond 12 o'clock,
Mhm.
turn them off.
Mhm.
There's,
Absolutely,
Isn't there a
it still is. So we have
I know you got-
we have the trees and everything. We still stayed in accordance with that. So we kept the tree barrier around our property. We were allowed to go until midnight, 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, and that there will be no cars started before noon, and there will be no cars on track before 1 p.m. on Sunday. So that is what our current schedule's around. Track cold at 11 p.m. And then again, track hot 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday.
we start much earlier with drifting as
Yes.
well. Like we go all day. It's not gates open at 5 and there's 7 hours of racing. I mean, it's bring a canopy because it's hot and sunny. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, we've got 18 hours scheduled for almost every event that's a 2-day event of driving.
So-
So more than enough seat time, track time. Single day passes. Now that's the other thing too. So if you're a spectator, you can do walk-up tickets. But our drivers have to pre-register online. That's the biggest thing. We want to make sure the drivers list are locked. We can send out our driver package, show the parking. We don't want people showing up and then unfortunately not being prepared for
Or
something.
at least for this event.
Yeah, just because we know.
Because there's a lot of extra drivers that are interested in it. Most events, drivers will be able to pay at the gate most of the time. It'll be a case by case. If it gets crazy, we'll be like, hey, pay in advance.
We're curious what some of the people have been asking. I mean, as far as when they talk to
well,
you about what's going on.
everybody asked me what, a lot of people don't know what drifting is. They'll say, well, what's a drift? What's they going to be doing out there? Drifting. What's drifting? And I have to explain it to them, and I don't do very good explaining. But I had pulled it up and said, look, this is what drifting is.
Yeah, YouTube, Facebook. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out what it is,
And
also show them what it's not. I mean, compared to what they have happening down in Hampton Road, down at these intersections,
it's not a
we
takeover.
get a lot of
Yeah.
conflicting. People think it's the same thing. It's completely different.
The difference between what they're doing in the streets and what we do on track is just like the difference between red light racing and drag strip racing. It's 100% different.
So we're trying to be able to even pull those people in. We've got our 2 Learn to Slide events later this year, to where you can bring your own car out there, and we've got certified instructors to be able to teach people in their own cars how to do donuts, figure eights, how to be able to link corners, so you can be able to get more comfortable not only in your own car, but increase your control.
I believe our first one's November 25th.
Yes, right around Turkey Day.
wow, I can't wait. I'm excited. I mean, I told my wife the other day. I said, "Ain't nothing else going on that weekend. I'm going to at least make that trip up there." And I still want to come out there one day before it all gets started and then look around. But I know y'all are not there all the time.
We can definitely work something out with you, because we've got some dates we'll be out. I mean, again, we're less than 2 weeks now, so we're pounding the pavement, and we both just came from there today.
Yeah, we're cleaning the track and the grounds and
Equipment.
It's still a lot of work that we're
Hey, Brian,
continually doing.
and they have a picture of me hanging in there.
We do.
Hey.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
we
picture?
do.
You got a picture of me hanging in there.
I mean,
So-
it's
A couple of years
A
ago,
younger-
but
Matter of fact, that was the first dirt race. Real race was when that happened.
oh wow.
We're going way back into.
Oh yeah, no, this
That
is
We're
That
talking
picture,
40 years.
that picture was the day of the first ever race. Now, that wasn't the practice that I ran or anything like that. And my brother drove the car that day in the first race.
Remember you telling us about this? Well, the swap. You showed up. You crewed for him, right?
Mhm.
And then he drove. And then there was something, I believe, with a news publication. They came out there and did the article on you.
They came out and they spent the whole, I think, like 2 or 3 days leading up to that. And then on the day of the race, they spent with us, watching us. And here we are, we don't know nothing. I mean, the first time we've ever been involved in something like this. And, it was my dad's, I don't know, I guess one of those senior moments where he decided, hey, I want a race car.
Right. I love that.
And we all decided we had to have race cars, so we got a race car. But they came out, we rebuilt the car, tore it down from the floor up, rebuilt it, got it all out there. They covered every bit of it, followed us all the way through. We even had radios, and they listened to us on the radio, and of course they got their ears full 2 or 3 times. But anyway, but it was fun. I mean, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Now, are we responsible if after riding along with us, if you want to go get your own drift cars, at our fault?
No, it's not. No, but my wife might call you. Because she still has a little bit of a problem with when I was racing.
Oh my goodness.
Well, drifting's much slower speeds.
And safer. Because again, the way that we have the track laid out, we took out the interior walls like you saw from our pictures and stuff. I mean, we only had one minor boot at sub 5 miles an hour the whole day on our practice day. We had over 25 cars there. Cool. So yeah, so again, safety first, making sure everybody signs the waiver, get the right wristband based on that. We still have media applications open as well. Vendor spots close August 13th, just so we can be able to submit to insurance as well. So if you are looking to be a vendor, you still have time. Make sure to email us at info@southamptonmotorspeedway.com to be able to get properly situated. If you Facebook message us, we're still going to tell you to email us just because that way, yeah.
So do you handle the shirts and stuff too?
We all kind of handle the shirts.
Everybody kind of does.
Yeah.
I still can't get on the thing.
So we saw a bug there, especially with Apple Pay. You couldn't do local pickup for something. We were having issues out here because we were selling merch at Battle of the Bay.
Yeah, we're still working out the kinks.
It's I love cold hard cash. That way, give me cash, give you shirt. Life is good.
Okay. Well, give me
I
shirt.
have your size still saved from when we talked,
Cool.
so no one else would be able
I knew you were going to be there for me. Anyway, so it's really cool. I really appreciate you coming all the way down here and being here tonight. Ben, I can't wait for this to happen.
We even gave you one to keep, one of our grand openings.
Thank you, and I appreciate it because I'm going to do what I normally do with stuff like this. I'm going to stick it right in top of my office and I'm going to probably put a frame around it and put it there in my office.
I mean, it's a milestone day. It's coming back to
20
life.
years.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah,
We've been talking about this for 2 decades.
Yeah.
It's been a long
and I know
time.
it's been a roller coaster. I mean, just watching it as a real estate agent, the track going up for sale and then being under contract, about to get a drag strip, falling out of contract, like it's been dramatic even in the last 2 years, just quietly dramatic. So,
And we are still obviously having track rentals. We have a track rental worksheet. We have facility rules and regulations. If you do have an event coming up where you want to rent the facility with or without the track, we are properly insured to do that now. And then depending on the event, we would just require binders for that. So you can be able to have your event at Southampton Motor Speedway after our
like a food truck meet, like that would be real. I would go to that.
I can't wait. I'm stoked. I told my wife, we got to be there, and we're going to be there. Well, I'm going to be there. I don't know if she will, but I'll
bring
be there.
sunscreen and drink water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
Drink water.
Believe me, I know about the drinking water part.
Yeah, that's
I spent one day down there laying on my back down there.
We were cooking out here 2 weeks ago at Battle of Good Night. It was
It was
warm.
a little warm that weekend, just a little bit.
So, but yeah. Thank you so much for having us on
Hey,
again.
look,
Really
man, I appreciate
it.
anything you got going on. You want to announce? Please contact me. We'll get you on here, and then you don't necessarily have to come all the way down here. We'll find a way to make it work with a.
But then I don't get to sit next to you guys and have a wonderful time.
Well, that's what we want. That's what we want. Hey, I've been telling everybody you were coming this week anyway, so.
I'm excited to be here.
So that's really cool. And thank you for coming on.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
nice to meet you and
Good to meet you
be a
guys.
part of this. And
Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure to meet you as well. Yeah.
Likewise.
I'll see you all.
2 weeks.
2
Less than 2 weeks, 10 days. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll see you in
Oh
2
man,
weeks.
there's so much to do.
Let's get to it. On to the next thing.
If you ever need anything from me, holler. I'm right there.
Jack, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Be careful. All right. We go from the grand opening of the Southampton Speedway to, let's get Kip Childress on here. Hey, Kip, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm well. Hope you are.
We don't have sound. Check and see if your sound is on your phone.
Well, it should be on there. How about
Try
now?
again. Okay, I got you now.
All right.
All right. So, how's everything going with you?
Things have been really busy here in the last couple of weeks for sure.
I'm telling you, and congratulations on hooking up with the Cars Tour. What led you to go into the Cars Tour?
Well, to be honest with you, at the point that I had heard that there was an opportunity, I wasn't looking. Of course, I'd been at NASCAR for now almost 15 years, and really enjoyed what I was doing there. But I heard that they were obviously with Dale and Kevin, and then Jeff and Justin purchasing the series back during the winter. I'd heard that they were looking for someone to step in, and as Jack McNelly has been a part of that series since its inception.
Right.
Was looking to maybe take a little lesser role. They were looking for someone to jump in, and well, I was just extremely flattered that they thought about me when presenting it to me.
Now the Cars Tour is really progressed. I mean, it's really huge right now, and I think it's got, the horizon is bright. So tell us some of the things that you've seen that you really love about the Cars Tour.
Well, the first thing that I love is the fact that they've all welcomed me with open arms to start with. From all of our staff members to the teams, the car owners, the drivers, and even a handful of fans. Making my way through the stands, going back and forth to race control, that have maybe recognized me from, previous job opportunities. But it's that right there, to feel like that you're wanted is huge. Because I will tell you, I was a little concerned that when the announcement came out that I would be joining the Cars Tour, that there would be some worry that maybe we would bring things out of the NASCAR world. And not that that's bad, but the Cup Series versus the Cars Tour are two completely different worlds, right? But I will tell you, there are things that I've been able to learn along the way. When I was back with the Canon series back in the early or the mid 2000s, or as we started into 2010, right on up to what I've learned through the Xfinity series and the Cup series. There is a lot that can be adapted and applied, and we're looking at ways to do that as we finish off 2023 and especially as we move into 24.
With Dale Jr. and Kevin and Jeff Burton and Justin all getting involved, it seems like it's given the Cars Tour a huge amount of credibility, and everybody wants to be a part of it.
Well, that's true. And, just the fact that those four guys want to be a part of it. And let me back that up with saying that it's just not they're not just saying that they want to be, right? They're actively a part of all the events that are going on, whether they're at the event or not. Our last race at Hickory, they knew that we were battling weather and were communicating with me throughout the entire day on Saturday, and even rolling into Sunday to make sure that we had what we needed to get the event underway and be able to finish up before we got out of there on Sunday. And even with Dale and Jeff being so involved with their broadcast duties, the fact that Kevin, obviously, when he's driving a car, is not reaching out. But when the others are in tune throughout the course of a weekend with what we're doing, says volumes for the level of involvement that they have with the tour. And then we follow that up as we get finished with a race weekend on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we're going over things that I'm noticing that maybe we need to take a look at, maybe tweaking a little bit, and just making a whole lot of notes as we go through a bit of a transition and get ready for the races moving forward.
Well, I think it's cool, and Jack and Keeley pretty much was running that thing pretty much by themselves, and I know it's got to be a great benefit to have you and everybody involved in pushing the Cars Tour out further. I think that's really great.
Well, and I told them, and I reiterated it to our staff and the competitors this past week too, that, even though that I am on board now and I'm, trying to wrap my arms around everything that I possibly can, things really haven't changed. Our officiating crew, our teams, we still want them to to basically go about their business as usual. Things that they're communicating with Jack or communicating with Keely or any of our staff members for that matter, if they're already have built those communications with those folks, we want that to continue as I continue to learn. And then we will, with that in mind, though, I make sure that I'm available, whether someone just wants to bend an ear or in the case, at Hickory, when we were trying to work through some weather plans, Jack and myself and Gary Ift, who is our technical director, we all were back and forth to make sure that we were coming up with the best game plan, and even as we were doing that, plans kept changing, our ideas kept evolving. And so, just to make sure that we're all leaning on one another to make sure that we come up with the best plans possible. But, primarily for me, I just want to make sure that I'm learning from Jack and Keely in our group to make sure that as we do start to look at implementing changes, we're doing so to benefit everyone.
I thought it was really cool when they were here at Langley. Jack was out there lining the cars up and getting everybody in the right place. I was saying, gosh, look at here. He's running the show, but he's still got everything going on otherwise.
Well, he's certainly a jack of all trades, that's for sure.
Yeah, he got that right. Well, Kip, we're really excited about the Cars Tour because we got two of our guys running that tour, Brendan Queen and Connor Hall. And, we get real excited about the Cars Tour races. We follow them just like every other thing we got going on.
Yep.
So I think it's really cool to have that.
It's really been exciting to see, those guys that are running, Brennan and Connor right there, second and third in the points right now. And Brennan's just a stone throw away from being right up there knotted up with Quapple. So it's going to be fun to watch these guys, battle it out as the races wind down and they are rapidly going away. Yeah,
got that right. Well, Kip, I appreciate you spending some time with us today. I know you're a busy man, got a lot going on, but I really appreciate you spending time. Thank you. Maybe we can get you back on here again sometime and talk about the season after it's over with and see how everything went for you for the rest of the year.
Would love to. Hey, and right now we're shopping for college. My daughter heads off to Appalachian next week, so we're out doing a little. We're grabbing some odds and ends to make sure that we've got everything. We'll still miss a few things, I'm sure, but we're trying to gather as much as we can before we have to ship her off up to Boone.
Yeah, well, good luck. I know how that is. I had to do the same thing, so
yes,
it's an experience.
Hey, and just a reminder to everyone: if you're out close to Ace Speedway on Friday night, be sure and come check us out. We'll be going through some practice runs starting on Thursday. And then Friday, we'll have the late model stock cars along with the other local divisions there at Ace. The racing will get underway at 8. We look to take the green flag for the Cars Tour at 9. And if you can't make it, be sure and check us out on Flow Racing.
Oh, yeah, got to do that. All right, Kip, thanks a lot. And we'll see you again soon. And I'll talk to you again.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I didn't want that. Okay. All right, now we're gonna have some fun.
More fun.
Yeah, we're gonna get the one of the greatest racing people I know, Pete Wright, gonna be on now with us now. He's ready to go. So let's get him on here. Hello, Mr. Wright.
Hello, Jack.
How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I got dogs barking. They ain't barked all damn day till I got on here.
Yeah. Pete, what are you doing with your time now that you're not doing any racing stuff?
Nothing. I'm just working around the house, taking care of my dogs, and just doing odds and ends, and that's it. Traveling, going to see people that I wanted to see.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad you're able to do that.
I'm getting ready to have to go back to work, though, because I'm about to go crazy.
Too much downtime, it sounds like.
Yeah, you got that right. There's too much going on. I got to go.
You don't want to go back and get back in racing, I know.
Oh, hell, that's all I know how to do. Unless I go down at Walmart and tell everybody it's going to have a nice day.
Pete, Pete, do you follow the racing now? You know, do you keep up with it?
Oh yeah, I keep up with it. I still got a lot of friends in it. I just I don't know. I've been happy the last 2 weeks. I really like Chris Busher.
I'm telling you.
He's from down here in Denton. He's got a farm down here in Denton.
Oh, okay.
Below me, and you know Denton. They were going to
Yeah.
build a big town, but they didn't. So that's how they come up with that name. But yeah, he did some wheel force testing for us when I was at Hendricks.
Oh, okay.
Because he was driving a Chevrolet at the time, and Chevrolet, you know, was wanting to check him out, and he did some wheel force. Great kid, great guy, very humble. And I texted him after he won Richmond, told him he'd done a good job. And he said, "Man, how you doing? You all right?" I mean, a lot of people, like Chase or somebody, to just say thanks.
Yeah.
You know, which I don't never text him because they can't win no more.
But hey, the thing about look, you were there when Chase got started. You were helping Chase when he first got started in Cup.
Yes.
And this year, to me, and this is me talking, nobody else talking, this is me, his attitude has really not been like the old Chase, to my opinion.
No, when they interview him, he's like staring off into the blue, you know. It's just, I don't know. I wish I had an answer for him because I really like Chase. We worked hard for 3 years getting him seat time. I mean, we ran everywhere, plumb up into Canada. And, you know, we got a lot, us guys that worked on them cars, we had a lot in, you know, time and effort into them away from my family. And shoot, when we first started running Chase, we didn't have any cars. We was working 15, 16-hour days trying to get cars ready for him. That's when he went K&N racing. And, I mean, I'd like to see him get back in track, but I don't know. It's just he's not acting right like Chase.
I know, and that's I don't know whether it happened when he got hurt or whatever, but it's not the same. He's not the same. I mean, I saw him at Richmond. He came in the media center at Richmond, and I tried it. I've talked to him every single time he's been around. You know, Lee worked with him. I mean, yeah. Lee was there.
Oh yeah.
And I had plenty of chances to talk to him. He just acted like he was not interested in talking to me at all and going about his business.
Well, that's the way it looked like when they interview him on TV or something. It's just not the Chase I knew and watched grow up. I mean, like I said, we raced everything there was. It had a motor and 4 tires on it for him. And, you know, now I just don't know. I don't know if he's unhappy or what.
Well, I think he's unhappy. I really do. And I see a change coming within, maybe not this year, but next year. I see a change coming as far as team and crew chiefs and everything. I think that's going to happen.
Well, you never know anymore in this sport.
I mean, Mr. Hendrick don't mind shaking things up from time to time.
No, but now you got Jeff there. Jeff,
well, yeah, that's true.
Him and Chad's pretty much running everything.
Yeah, well, that's true. I guess you're right. I'll back down on that one then a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, Chad, I mean, he's going in the Hall of Fame. Whoopee! I don't understand it. Jimmy, I'm with Jimmy. Don't get me wrong. But I've always said if I could have had Jeff Gordon and Rick Hendricks' money, I could have been Ray Abraham, you know?
Yeah. That's the thing that you know, I don't see Chad being Hall of Fame worthy yet. I know he's done great things and I know he's won championships. I just don't, to me, there's other people out there that's been around the sport that's a little bit more worthy of it right now.
Well, it's got away from what I always thought the Hall of Fame was for. You don't see the football Hall of Fame like it is.
No.
I mean, there's people on there walking deathbed, and they just get in. And
Yeah, and
and
there's over
Joe,
300 of them.
I mean, you got people like Harry Hyde and everything that was really, you know, a founder of the sport, and different mechanics out there. I just don't understand. I mean, I know they want to have every champion in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's their goal. And I guess every champion, I mean, Inman's in there. And I'll tell you what, that's one heck of a man right there. I have so much respect for Dale Inman. So I guess if Dale can get in there for what he did with Richard, I guess they feel like Chad can too, you know. But now Donnie Allison, I was happy with that. And I think that's, then Janet Guthrie, I don't know. I remember when she was driving.
Yeah.
And Darrell Bryant here in High Point was her crew chief when she started.
To me, it's just crazy that some like Harry Hyde, some of those guys. I mean, they say they got to have 2 from the modern era and 1 from the past. Well, it seems like it should be the other way around. You need to get the past, because people don't know what the past was. You do.
No.
You've been around. You were around it.
No.
I kept up with it, so I knew about it. But you know,
another thing I've heard too about Hall of Fame, they wanting people in it that this younger generation can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Not what me and you can relate to, because we're going to be old and gone. You know.
That's right.
So they want to keep getting the people out there for this younger generation. So that's another factor I think that plays into it. I'm not on a voting panel or anything like that, and I know a lot of people. You know, I can honestly say out of the ones that are in the Hall of Fame, I've either worked with or worked for 23 of them. So I feel like I'm a part of it.
Well, you are part of it. And you just ain't got in there yet.
No, I ain't going to get in there. I don't want to get in there. That's just like me writing a book. I always wonder, you know, people keep saying, well, you're going to write a book. Hell, all you're going to do is piss off somebody. So what's the use taking a chance?
Yeah, I agree.
You make somebody mad, you won't talk about something, then when you do talk about something and you use somebody else's name, they get mad because they didn't want nobody to know about it. And I have a lot of them I could use.
Go ahead, bro.
You've been in the sport for a long, long time. You've seen many drivers come and go, and different styles of race cars. Talk to us from your perspective, just the dramatic change you've witnessed and been a part of for 40 plus years. What sticks out in your mind?
I guess the change is the money. It didn't used to, I mean, it used to be money. I mean, I can remember when you went to the racetrack and won the race, and you got, I mean, even in Cup, you got what, $25,000, and that was one of the big races.
Yep.
You go back and look at some of them, but when I really started noticing the change was in 1984 when we won the championship with Terry Labonte and Piedmont Airlines. We were in New York, and that's when they started that Winston Million.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the Winston Million's coming along. Then, you know, Winston has to get out because of cigarettes and things like that. And then they started going to Indy, to run Indy. I mean, well, the first year we went to Indy, it paid $325,000 just to make the field.
Wow.
And I'm just, to me, you know, then the ones that like Bill, he won the million. He always joked with me though and told me he didn't get $650 of the million, but you know, that's Bill. But I've seen a lot of changes. Now, what I see that is really the sports about now is the younger drivers that are coming up. It's like, you know, look how much money Joe Gibbs is putting into Nemechek and some of them.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of money out there. It's all about money, and the first time I noticed it was, like I said, 1984. They brought them millions in. Ben Dale got killed. Sport changed then. Luckily, it didn't go away. Then Bill France Jr. died, and that was another setback, I think.
Well, you know what one thing that, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's a wonder the sport or NASCAR, either one, survived Brian France being in charge of the operation there. Because there was a lot of things going on that just, you know.
I watched Brian France grow up. And I never will forget one time I was standing at the back of the NASCAR truck down at Daytona, looking at a schedule or something. And I always talk to Billy Jr. He always says, Pete, how you doing? We talk a few minutes, you know. I could go to him, and I had my butt chewed out by him a couple of times, but I also had a lot of respect for that man. I even went over to his house one night and sat on the steps and drank a glass of wine with him. And that's just, he was that kind of person. And I never will forget it. Brian comes storming out of the back of that trailer and took off. Looked like he was pissed off at the world. And I never will forget. Billy looked at me and he says, Pete, when something happens to me and that boy's in charge, y'all are screwed.
and there was a lot of truth to that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even though he might have been mad and just said that or something, but I'll never forget him saying that to me.
You know, you probably remember back in your days with Bill Jr. and all them, they were accessible to the competitors. Maybe sometimes you didn't want to be accessible to them, but whatever. But, you know, it was really cool that they were like that. With Brian, the minute the race started, Brian was gone.
Yeah.
You didn't see him no more.
Yeah.
And I sat there many a time, especially in Richmond, watched him go right out the back gate and get in the car and gone.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times he'd just show up and be there about an hour and then leave again. I mean, that was, I don't know. I just never understood his ways. That's, you know, that's how a spoiled brat acts.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
now, see, I got a question I've been wanting to ask you, and I may have asked you this before, but I don't know. What was it like? You know, I've always been a Darrell Waltrip fan. What was it like working with Darrell Waltrip? I had Jeff Hammond on here a few weeks ago, you know, and he said, you know, he told me point blank, I didn't really like Darrell Waltrip when I first started. So I was just wondering what your take was.
Well, I'm right opposite from Jeff. I liked him when I first met him. But there at the end, when he was just trying so hard to keep going, we did stupid things, you know, to the cars and he had different ideas, a chrome car, a chrome helmet, stuff like that. And I still love Darrell. I think Darrell, every time I see him, we hug each other till we can't hardly breathe anymore. He meant well, but he also wanted to be the center of attraction.
Oh, yeah.
After he got older, his driving skills wasn't doing it. At one time, he was the best. He was awesome. And, I mean, I never will forget, we were at testing at Charlotte. Well, we wasn't testing. We was over practicing for the 600. And this was in 86, I think. And he was always bad about wanting to set the code. Well, I believe I need the code set out about 16. Y'all set that code about 16 pounds. I think that'll make me better. Well, he always kept doing that. Finally, one time, me and Jeff was, you know, crew chief then. That was before Brewer took over. And we were there. And Jeff says, what do you think? I said, I ain't changing. I said, we just had it there 2 runs ago. So he said, well, just do what you want to do. So I acted like I was changing the cut, me and Sandy Jones. We never changed it. But he didn't. Supposedly, he didn't know about it. Well, we send him on back out. He backs out, goes out on the racetrack and runs. He runs about 2 laps. He comes in. He was going to run 10 laps. And he come in after 2, pulled in the garage. He said, boys, I don't believe y'all did anything to that toe. And I'm thinking, he felt the 16th. That's pretty good. But
Yeah,
later on, we told him.
You know, it was really hard to see back in the day when he had his own operation over there in Charlotte. I think you were there.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, because I remember coming over there a couple times, and I hated to see that fold up like it did. I mean, you know, I know Darryl gave it everything he had to try to keep it going, but just didn't work out.
I'll have to say he tried hard. He really did. He did not want to give up. He wanted to win at least one more race. And I mean, there was times like, I'll never forget, he told me one time, he said, hell, I can drive a wheelbarrow around Bristol. So I sent a guy down there over to Harrisburg Hardware and got him to get me 2 wheelbarrow handles. So when I unloaded the car at Wilkesboro, they were still taped to underneath, and everybody didn't know what the hell was going on. And I told everybody, well, hell, he said he could drive a wheelbarrow around here. We're going to give him a chance.
Well, Pete, I appreciate you being with us tonight, man. I tell you what, I love talking to you. Maybe someday soon we'll get together, maybe a family union or something again. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. Just you got my number and stuff now. If you want me to come back on or whatever, just call me. You got it.
I'll do it, man. I'll do it.
I ain't doing nothing.
Well, I love talking to you because it's a lot of fun to hear about the things that went on in the past and how your take is on things. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I mean, what else? I got to help my kin people out somehow.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And hopefully we'll get together real soon. You going up to Rocky Mountain anytime soon?
I got a 50th high school reunion coming up. You know, I quit, but I went back and I supposedly graduated in 73. So we having a 50th high school reunion, and I've never been to one, so I want to go see what it's like.
Okay, well that'd be good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be different.
I don't know. I don't drink anymore, so that takes all the fun away.
All right, Pete. Well,
I mean, what do you expect? I've lost 74 pounds. I'm ready to start jacking again.
Okay, well, hey, I don't think you want to go back to that, though.
No, not now. Not the way they do it now.
No.
That's too much, that looks too much like work.
Yeah, tell me about it. Well,
all right, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you, man, and we'll talk to you again real soon, okay?
Okay, buddy.
All right, man.
All right, bye.
Bye. I don't care what anybody says. That's one of the coolest guys that I've ever, you know, and yeah, he's one of my relatives and everything. But it's really cool because we went to Rockingham when Lee, my son, was getting ready to make a decision on what he was going to do. Baseball was not in his plans at that point. Well, it was, but he knew what the situation was. We ran up on Pete. And Pete grabbed him and put him under his arm and said, boy, you don't want to do this. He said, this is not as glorious as you think it is.
A lot of work.
And
a lot of travel.
Lee found out exactly what it was. And so, but anyway, Pete was right there. I mean, you know, they saw each other all the time. So it's really cool that it's great to have somebody in the sport that, I mean, he's been in the sport for years. Everybody knows Pete Wright.
And who he's worked with. I mean, just the resume of drivers and other crew chiefs. And
Terry Labonte, he won a championship with Terry Labonte. He was a crew member then. He was with Darryl Waltrip. He was over at Junior Johnson's. He was I mean, he said, told me one time, a bunch of places that he worked. He moved around a little bit, but but when he got to Hendrick, he was the
That became his home.
That became where, and Mr. Hendrick kind of looked after him. And of course, his son Adam had an accident and passed away. And Mr. Hendrick really looked after him at that point. Said, "Yeah, you're here. We'll take care of it." And
just tells you the type of caliber person Rick Hendrick is.
Well, a lot of
staple
people
of our sport.
Well, a lot of people don't know about some of these people. And they don't know how they are opposites away from the racetrack. I've always heard that Rick Hendrick is just as nice a person, but you see him at the racetrack and you don't get that feel because But I know he's that way because everybody's gonna pull at it.
You're focused.
Well, and everybody, and like one of the guys told me at Dover one time, we were looking, he was sitting on a golf cart, and I was standing over by there, not with him, but I was over by the golf cart, and one of his guys said, "I got to get him out of here because everybody stops here wants something." Right. And Mr. Hendrick doesn't know how to say no or whatever. He says, "Yeah," and
wow.
So Mr. Hendrick that was the type of guy he was, but he is. But he's kind of backing himself out of the sport a little bit now. So
well, I mean, I think it's I've heard some interviews over the last few years, and he's really worked hard with Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's been invested in that organization for a long time, and it just seemed like a natural fit to bring him in to help carry Hendrick Motorsports and continue the legacy that they've offered and brought to us.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Well, Brian, tell us a little bit about what's going on now with you. You done got back from vacation. You ready to get back to work?
It's time to go back to work. Yeah, Chuck, I'm surprised you let me come back Saturday night. You told me I was off last week on unapproved leave. It was thanks to Buck Bruce. He came in and helped us out Saturday night. I missed the 3 wide finish here.
Tell me
for
about
a photo. I saw the photos and was just super proud to see that took place. But yeah, we're getting ready to go back at it Saturday night. We still have the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. They'll be in town the end of August. That's going to be the next big one that's on the schedule. The Sean Beluso Memorial 100 is coming up a little bit later in the year, and I'm still in shock that we're in the month of August already. We're going to be getting ready to close out the 2023 season, and it just doesn't seem real. So I hope folks that have not had a chance to get out to the racetrack, go ahead and mark the calendars, get out here one Saturday night and have fun with us, or tune in to Flow Racing.
So what about Dixieland? I know you.
Yeah, we're excited, Dixieland. We've had the worst luck weather-wise.
I tell you, it's like every week there for the last few weeks.
We've missed 6 weeks of racing in the summer. I don't ever remember that. A great group that's continuing the great legacy. Red and Debbie Swain, who still own the Dixieland Speedway, but you got Marcy, H.C. Pritchard, Ben Walford are just doing a great job. They're working hard and managing Dixieland Speedway. Bringing in the Modified Mafia, which I've never seen a Modified Mafia race in person, so I can't tell you too much about it because I got to see it take place on Friday night, and Mod Lights are coming to town. So something new that Marcy and the team are bringing to Dixieland. So praying we're going to have good weather. I think the forecast looks good for Friday night, so we hope everybody comes out and joins us for some good dirt track racing in Elizabeth City.
So now you live.
I'm in Edenton, so I'm about 30 minutes southwest of Elizabeth City.
So you have a good little ride to here when you come here.
Yeah, I'm about an hour and a half. Yeah, roughly hour and 35 minutes.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You still come here and do Friday nights there and come here on Saturday.
My family's from the Virginia Beach area, and they moved south to, they call it Mayberry, beautiful historic Edenton. Love Edenton. But yeah, I mean, you just get used to burning up the road, 17 north, the 64th. But yeah, it's just part of it.
Yeah. Nobody does it better than you. I know I'm gonna say that, and I've told everybody that for the last few weeks. I said, look, nobody does it better than he does.
Are you listening to them? Are you really listening?
No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. You are. I was telling, I think who it was at Richmond. Was somebody in the media center? Oh, it was one of the girls that was sitting with us at the media center. And I was telling her that you were because she heard your voice doing the thing, and she said, I hear he's from Langley. I said, yeah, he's from Langley, but I'll tell you what, he's the most prepared person you'll ever see at Langley Speedway.
Well, I appreciate that. We have fun, have a good time, right? So you got to do your homework to come out and do a good job.
Do you sit down like prior to the races and come up with the stuff that you come up with? I mean, because I got to give it to you. There's things you bring up that I'm thinking, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything. You prep to get ready for whatever you're going to do. So yeah, I do spend some time just kind of looking at the past storylines, race results, point standings, qualifying. So I try to sit down and figure out, what's interesting to the crowd. What do they need to know about X, Y, and Z on the driver? And Justin Kern and I, we worked with Chuck. We really, and the drivers, if you're listening, we did a driver profile sheet. It's like a basic 2-pager. It just helps us to understand, because I try my best around in the racetrack and the pits on Saturdays and at Dixieland on Friday nights as well. But you can't hit every driver, every team.
You get that right.
And I know they're busy. They're trying to get the car dialed in. They really don't have a lot of time. I mean, and most drivers and teams are very gracious. They talk to me and help me to understand some of the storylines and behind the scenes things that maybe I can help bring to the broadcast. But we did a driver profile sheet. So if you've not had a chance to fill that out, please fill it out, because it really helps give us a little more details on the driver and team and sponsors. I mean, we know sponsors for the racetrack, the race teams, it's critical. And we want to do a good job of making sure we thank those sponsors. We can't rattle off all 20 on a race car, but we can certainly do our best to try to get through them over the course of the season.
And you do a wonderful job doing that, because your sheet there, I see you pull it up and tell about the sponsors they have and everything. That's really cool.
I know how hard those drivers and teams work to get those sponsors to put their logo on the side of the car. So we want to help tell that story, because we need those sponsors to come back next year as well to help them out and help us out the racetrack.
That's true. That's very true. Well, I've enjoyed having you with me.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Hopefully, Scott's going to be out again sometime soon, and I'm going to call you again.
Well, please do.
I love having you here. We enjoy the part of being here. Also,
let me just real quick, just thank you and Scott for. I'm not just saying it because I'm sitting here, or maybe I am, but thank you for what you do. I feel like I'm always getting educated when I'm watching at home. You're able to bring an element with the drivers and other folks that are involved in the sport. I feel like it's just great that we have this avenue, and I know it takes time. So thank you and Scott for doing that for us.
I spend a lot of time talking with these guys. I mean, I should be doing other things, sometimes, but I'm on the phone with, like Pete. I talked to Pete. I've talked to, there's a guy named Racing Jason that's in Charlotte, and I talked to him a lot. I talked to some of the crew chiefs that came along when my son was coming along, and I've got to know them. The guy that you saw, I think you saw him, I don't know, maybe you did, Richmond, when he was leaving the racetrack. And he came up and gave me a hug when he was leaving the racetrack.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Chris Sherwood. He's from right here in the area, but he went to school with my son. He also was working at Michael WALTRIP when my son was at Michael WALTRIP. And he and I have gotten to be friends, and really, really good friends. I mean, I can call him and, I can tell things that, okay, well, don't put this out, but this is what's getting ready to happen. So,
right.
So, and Scott and I've been fortunate. So we love what we do. I love what I do.
It shows. I mean,
and Scott does, he's got his job and things that he has to worry about. But when he's here, he and I cut up a lot, and we enjoy doing that. But
that's what makes it fun. You gotta have fun.
But I do love to talk to these guys and get them on the show like Pete. I mean, I know I can't have him every week, but if I could, I would. But I mean, he's just.
It's something when you retire from something, you're freely talk a little bit more about things, right?
Yes. I
can tell when somebody's getting close to retirement, whatever industry they're in. It's like, okay, you wouldn't have said that 3 years ago.
That's funny. That's funny you say that, because I was hounding him at one point. I mean, every time I saw him, I said, "Look, hey, I want you on the show." Okay. Never did it. He never did it. Well, when he retired, I called and said, "Look, man, I want you on the show. I want to talk." He said, "I can do it now." I said, "What do you mean you can do it now?" He said, "Well, I didn't want to say it and make you mad or anything like that." He said, "But I couldn't do it before." He said, "I was still under contract with Hendrick, and I couldn't do that."
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you could get a lot of conversations like that. And, you know, as long as you're up front with the guys, like in the NASCAR garage, and here too, if you're up front with them and you don't go out and badmouth everything or start something, unless it's fun. No, Scott and I will start something that's fun, you know.
Sure.
But that's what we do.
And we got to grow the sport. I mean, we're all collectively here with NASCAR. We're part of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series. We have to work together. Are we going to agree on everything? No, we're not.
No.
But we have to constructively work together to figure out solutions. And because I mean, at the end of the day, thanks to NASCAR, we wouldn't be here, right? I mean, it'd be a whole different thing. So we got to bring the positivity in the sport, and I feel like we're on an uptick, just in all things in general. I think the sport, even on Saturday night, the energy, the intensity, it's incredible. Here in Richmond, I felt the vibe in Richmond.
Richmond was probably the best I've seen it in a long time. This time, I actually had traffic to get into. The last time I could just roll right on into the track. This time I had to come through the traffic to get in there like it was the old days.
Right.
You know, and it was, I'm glad to see it's back like that. But it's a resurgence of short track racing. Sure. It's bringing a lot of this home.
It is, because it's funny you said that. It just brings up a good thought, because let's talk about, you know, Bill Mullis and how active. Our owner of Langley Speedway, he is at South Boston when they have their marquee event. He's in Martinsville. But on the flip side, you have Lori Collier-Warren, the president of Richmond Raceway. She's been here multiple times already.
Right.
She's been up in the broadcast tower with me talking about great things that's happening here. But you have this collaboration that you have your owners and track presidents that are working so close together to grow the sport. And I felt that when I went to Richmond a couple weeks ago. I mean, the accessibility for, like let's talk about Lori. She did a lemonade event.
Yeah, I saw that.
And she was right there with the fans and listening to their thoughts, their ideas, and it was just, I'm excited about where we're headed.
And she's very accessible.
Oh, yeah.
Because I talked to her this week. I wanted to get her on the show. And of course, she's on vacation this week. So,
well, she just had a birthday. So.
She was on vacation. So, you know, I told her, I said, I've been trying to get you on the show. I said, I've talked to certain people. She said, well, that's the person you're supposed to talk to. But I will talk to them when I get back, and I will be on your show. So, I mean, she's really accessible, and she's really, really good. That's and right. She came in the media center and come over and introduced herself to everybody in the media center. She's really good. So I have to say, but you mentioned Bill Mullis. I'm not going to let that one get away. Bill has done so much for this track, building. Well, he's part of the Triple Crown thing. I mean, that was part of their brain trust to do all that, to get all that together. Bill is unbelievable. And
he loves this sport, loves this place. Like, I don't think any of us will ever understand. I mean, he's all about it.
Like when we were just trying to decide what we were going to do, Bill said, come to Langley.
Right.
And this is where you belong.
It's the backdrop, right?
Yeah, this is where you belong. And I said, well, okay. I said, you know, it's not that, you know. And then I made the comment one time, man, that's a heck of a trip for me to come.
That's right. You do a little commute too.
So that's a heck of a trip. Well, you ain't going nowhere.
So keep coming back. So Chuck opens the gate and keeps us going.
That's very true. And then they made the state gave me a key that year. Anyway. All right, well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank Brian. Man, I tell you, appreciate Brian being here. Man, it's a huge thing. Pete Wright, Kip Childress with the Cars Tour.
He's a cool guy, by the way. I had a chance to meet him for the first time. He was here for our Hampton. We had him up in the tower, and I saw him after the race.
Yeah, he was talking to him. Yeah,
just a great guy.
That's the first time I've seen him talk to him before, but that was the first time I talked to him about being on the show was when he was here. Anyway, don't forget, I'm gonna bring it up one more time. I'm not trying to downplay Langley Speedway or anything like that, but I do want to see great things happen at Southampton Speedway. I really do. And so please go out and support Southampton Speedway for their grand opening or grand reopening, I guess you would say. But anyway, thanks, Brian.
Thanks, sir.
Have a safe trip back. And we will see you next week. Now, next week we're going to have Sammy Gator. And against my better judgment, Robbie Parker. I really thought didn't want to do that, but we're going to do that. Scott hopefully will be back if he doesn't miss the boat coming back. But anyway, we'll see you again next week. We'll talk to you then.